Hey, remember this? That was 7 years ago in 2018. What were you doing 7 years ago in 2018? Reaching maturity, learning to pronounce your first racial slur, contemplating suicide, getting home from school to watch your latest drama video. You tell me in the comments section below, along with a flag emoji of the country you're from. Just to make clear how long ago that was, in 2018, the PlayStation 2 had just turned 18 years old. In other words, too old for Vosh to get in touch with. Now that you've taken that information in, consider the fact that the Elder Scrolls 6 only began production in 2023. If you don't know where I'm getting at with this, then don't worry, I'll tell you, but you really should have read the title of the video. The point I'm getting at is that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to disappoint you. Now, you might be wondering how I can say that with the certainty that I did. I'll tell you how, because in the last 17 years, Bethesda has done very little other than fucking lie to you. And in those 17 years, fail to evolve and make games that solely rely on the fact that they support mods to get attention and popularity, and hope that people forget the fact that the games in question are, more often than not, very dismissive and disrespectful of the franchise that they're associated with. And with your expectations as well, because, you know. Let's do this in order, shall we? Remember when Fallout 3 was advertised as having refined shooting mechanics and 200 fucking endings? That alone should have been enough for people to start questioning literally everything that came out of Todd Howard's mouth, but apparently no. All that needs to happen is for a little bit of time to pass and for a few mods to come out for people to forget the fact that Bethesda has had a very long track record of not meeting expectations, false advertising, and providing sloppy but neat to tinker with products for people to fucking just forget the fact that the guy at the top of it just wants your fucking money. Now, mind you, I am far more defensive of Fallout 3 than other quote-unquote New Vegas purists, as people love to accuse me of being, but there's simply no denying the fact that the project was a massive clusterfuck. I mean, did you know that originally Fallout 3 was meant to take place 20 years after the atomic war in that game? It was later moved up to 200 years to try to unfuck the massive lore implications, but it's still fucked beyond belief. And even if it wasn't, no, the game doesn't have 200 endings. It never had 200 endings. What the fuck was this? And how the hell did people forget about it? Oh yeah, because of the next game. Hey, you see that mountain over there? You can climb it. Look, much like the previous game and the ones following this one, I don't actually care if you like Skyrim or not. I'm not particularly invested in Elder Scrolls in general, but whether it's a good game or not, would you really say that it's just in line with the Elder Scrolls 3 or 4, for example? Would you say that going through a bunch of procedurally generated quests is about as fun as going through a bunch of handcrafted ones? Admit it, you love Skyrim because the main content, the main story of the game is pretty fun to play, to you at least, and you can mod it out the ass. And also admit it, saying that you can climb the mountains and then just having the mountains be stretched out fucking polygons is a little bit scummy, especially considering that I'm willing to bet that a lot of people who heard that you can climb a mountain were probably expecting a little bit more than, you know, relatively low effort tweaking of the terrain. But that's not the only reason why Skyrim is included here. Skyrim is included here also because of the fact that it was released in 2011, 14 years ago, and has been re-released 7 fucking times. And I'm saying that because a lot of people say that Bethesda made Skyrim, so it's okay, they know how to make good games, because that was 14 fucking years ago. And the fact that they thought it was fit to re-release it 7 motherfucking times kind of reveals what their priorities are. Especially when you take into account the fact that a lot of these re-releases come out with bugs that modders fixed fucking years prior, sometimes on the year of release. Quadruply as egregious when you consider the fact that the special edition from 2016, released for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, can still be played by the modern generation of consoles, the 9th console generation, you know, the PS5, Series X, and so on. So the fact that they re-released it, even though you can still fucking play it, should be a flag about as red as the ones found in Beijing, China. But apparently, much like when new crime statistics come out, everybody's colorblind because Fallout 4 was released in 2015, and Fallout 4 is Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 is not a Fallout game. Retconning the most recognizable aspect of Fallout for a cool intro sequence and neat trailer footage, a first-person shooter whose self-identified gender is an RPG, that not only is supposed to have endless content, but is also meant to be replayed forever. The reality being that these are just radiant quests that keep getting spawned and generated over and over and over again, and have literally no meaning to them other than being something to do, that get pretty boring. But also remember the Season Pass for Fallout 4? In case you don't know, the Season Pass was advertised as giving you access to all DLCs ever made for Fallout 4, but of course, because the Creation Club was added in 2017, you know, paid fucking mods because fuck you, give me money, Bethesda got sued. And it's not like those DLCs were really worth it though, were they? Because I'm just willing to bet that fans of Fallout 4 were just waiting in anticipation to have the Nuka-Cola bitch from Fallout 3 show up and send you on fucking quests across the map to find graffiti.
They were part of a really cool contest that started just before the war.
I wish testicular cancer upon this woman.
Guessed it! Nuka-Cola! So, to win the contest, you had to find 10 images of Patty, the Nuka-Cola mascot, hidden throughout the park. Each image has part of a code or something, and only these special glasses can reveal it.
Just for Enclave Emily in chat. This bint.
And tell you all about Nuka-Cola, you know, 200-something years after an atomic fucking war. You know, I'm not even gonna... No, next one. Then you had Fallout 76. Where to begin with Fallout 76?
It allows us to have 16 times the detail. 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 Have 16 times the detail.
A massively multiplayer online role-playing game, allegedly, where servers can only have up to 24 people, and you were and still are disincentivized from role-playing. How about subscriptions to Fallout First for 15 bucks a month? Or, even better, cosmetic-only microtransactions that lasted for a whole 5 seconds after launch before they started giving people repair kits in the shop. Or other things that weren't exactly pay to win, but were basically pay to win. You know, you don't have to buy those repair kits and other shit, but you won't be suffering in an endless fucking grind if you do pay, unlike those poor people who are not purchasing these microtransactions. Or the whole pre-order fiasco, you know, the fucking power armor helmet that could develop mold and kill you, the rum that was terrible and was just packaged in plastic, a bag made from entirely different material than what was advertised, and your compensation was $5 in the in-game store, incidentally less than what you'd need to purchase a fucking bag in that game. Oh, and you know, the fact that the DLC for this MMORPG were just fucking shooting galleries, so there's that. Oh, and lore retcons, because if they didn't include the Brotherhood of Steel, they wouldn't be able to milk the fucking idiots they keep milking over and over again with that imagery, now could they? Then we come to Starfield, the game that everybody attacked me for saying would disappoint. The game that everybody said was going to be peak. The game everybody was pre-ordering $200 or $300 fucking special editions for. It was their A-team. It was delayed for a year. It's not gonna have bugs, and even if it does, it's Bethesda, and Bethesda can't do anything wrong. It's gonna be a peak game. Hey, you can explore entire planets, and it's just a fucking grid that will shove you in a loading screen if you get too far. Hey, explore all of these details, and it's just generated by a fucking computer. Hey, go out and travel into space, but it's just a loading screen simulator. A game so fucking boring that even the most dedicated modders say they don't want to develop mods for it because it's not worth it. You know it's bad when even the fucking modders that have kept your brand alive for a fucking decade plus say it's not worth it to even develop miscellaneous mods for it. I mean, for fuck's sake, Starfield is a space game where going to space is punished. Oh, but the astronauts weren't bored when they went to the moon. Remember that one? Remember the ChatGPT generated responses to fan feedback? Oh, but don't worry, guys. Shattered Space will fix it. If you didn't see this one coming, then I honestly have to recommend you to the nearest eye doctor. And what's Bethesda and Emil Pagliarulo's response to people hating Starfield? Is it listening to fan feedback? Is it saying that they're gonna fix it? Is it acknowledging their mistakes? No, it's saying that in many ways it's the best game they ever made. Now, if you've paid attention to what I've been saying, you might have noticed that at no point during this that I mentioned the Elder Scrolls 6's development, other than that quick reference in the beginning of the video. Why? Because they came out with the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer after they fucked up with with Fallout 76. The Elder Scrolls 6 was not in development in 2018. What happened is that they had fucked up Fallout 76 so hard, they wanted people to be distracted by something. So they cobbled together a quick CGI trailer to get everybody hyped, and then didn't say anything else about it. Until late 2023, when development actually began. Now let me ask you, dear viewer, do you legitimately think that the Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be a good game? Starfield, even with the help of Microsoft engineers, was the piece of shit that it was. Now let me ask you again, dear viewer, do you have any hope for the Elder Scrolls 6? Because if the answer is yes, then I legitimately want you to explain how the fuck that's possible. You can't even use the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me thing, because at this point, it's fucking habitual. I get that for a lot of people, the Elder Scrolls is their favorite franchise. It was one of those games or one of those franchises they grew up with, but come on! Defending garbage like this only sets you up for misery, getting scammed, and the continuation of bad practices by corporations that really just want you to spend money on them. I'm old enough to remember when games were passion projects. Creative, sometimes innovative, but really fun and came from the heart of people. Who the fuck, I say again, who the fuck is looking at Starfield Shattered Space and saying, oh yeah, that came from the heart of the developers? Nobody with a brain cell. The most popular description for Shattered Space that I've seen is that it's a cut content compilation. Now, I don't take any pleasure in hating for the sake of hating. Good thing that's not what I'm doing. I'm not hating for the sake of hating. I am legitimately trying to warn you here. The Elder Scrolls 6 is going to disappoint you, and when that game is revealed again, and pre-orders start opening up, do not fucking do it. Temper your expectations, don't pre-order it, wait until reviews from actual human beings, not corporate shills, come out, and then, and only then, decide if you want to play the game or not. And when actual reviews for the Elder Scrolls 6 come out, whenever the fuck the game does eventually come out, come back to this video and tell me if I was right or wrong. You've already been stabbed in the back many times before, don't get stabbed in the face. What the fuck was that? Okay, as I was saying, you've already been stabbed in the back before, don't get stabbed in the face. Someone's a bit out of touch. I have to go deal with that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.